Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I hereby give notice of my intention to move the following: that council officers, in consultation with the Victorian Government Solicitor's Office, prepare a report clarifying whether it is lawful to apply the special measures or general exceptions provisions under Victorian anti-discrimination laws to ensure biological females are not the subject of indirect discrimination that occurs from failure to differentiate between biological males and females where sex characteristics are relevant, such as in the provision of toilets, change rooms, etc., and where failure to differentiate places biological females at a disadvantage, and that this report, being urgently necessary, be provided to councillors as soon as possible.
Thank you, Councillor Deeming. Do I have a councillor to second the motion? Councillor Shannon.
Happy to second that, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Shannon. Does any councillor oppose the motion? Does any councillor wish to speak on the motion?
Mr. Mayor, I do have a question.
Yes, Councillor Mailey.
In regards to this, is this similar to the Human Rights Commissioner that we had the training on last year, the Victorian Equal Opportunity Human Rights Commission, when we asked them some questions and they didn't get back to us, and then we asked for another meeting and they refused? Is this sort of along the same lines as that, Councillor Deeming?
Thank you, Councillor Maidlick. Well, it's a result of the fact that they refused to answer our questions and refused to come back for a meeting after repeated requests for clarification. And so, of course, I've had to go and just keep reading and doing my own digging, and I came across these provisions in the law, and as I read them, it looks to me as though it would be legal to use these provisions for exceptions. And so I would like to just know from our legal department, in consultation with whoever needs to be consulted with, whether or not that's legal. And if it's not, then I'll have a different motion to put forward. But if it is, obviously, I would like us to seek to enact those provisions, which are all legal and accepted and promoted by the Victorian Human Rights and Equal Opportunity Commission on their website. You know, as it says, the Equal Opportunity Act 2010 makes discrimination against the law, but it also recognises the need to balance conflicting rights, which is what I have been arguing for all along, that these are rights that need to be balanced. So, within the law, it provides some common sense exceptions. Sex and gender identity are different categories under the law, and in order to decide which one takes priority in certain situations, you just, as we were told by that gentleman from the Human Rights Commission, you just work out which one has more relevance in a given situation. And in a situation like toilets or change rooms, you would imagine that sex is taken to the toilet, sex is taken to a change room, not a gender identity per se. It's not built for gender identities, it's built for sexes to go to the toilet and to change. So that is how I would interpret the law, but I am not a lawyer, and so I am simply seeking clarification from our legal department in consultation with whoever we need to consult with to get some clarification. As you all know, that I spent last year trying to get answers to this, and lots of you supported me, and I appreciate that. So it's just, this is my next attempt to get an answer, basically.
Thank you, Councillor Deeming. Councillor Ramsey.
Just some clarification that this report being urgently necessary, having read the officer's comments, how time sensitive is it, Councillor Deeming?
It's sensitive, and it's time sensitive because we just need an answer. We need an answer because we need to let our residents know what the law is, who is allowed into which facilities and services. At present, I have asked the Human Rights Commissioner, the Gender Equality Commissioner, the LGBTQ Commissioner, some educational officer from the Human Rights Commission, and various others, our previous lawyer. I have on my own, under my own investigations, consulted 2 other external lawyers, and I have been given either no answers from the government representative, the representatives from the Human Rights Commission and the government, or I have been given conflicting advice. And so what I would just like to know once and for all is what is allowable under the law. It's a reasonable question. Their one job in government is to make laws, and so it would be very nice if they could clarify the laws that they have made for us so that we can clarify them for our residents, because they want to know and I want to know.
Thank you, Councillor Deeming. Councillors, just once again to remind Councillor Vanderberg.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have one question for Councillor Deeming. It says here, and where failure to differentiate places biological females at a disadvantage. Can you please explain how it places females at a disadvantage, and where is the data that you have received this, please?
Councillor Deeming, please answer.
Thank you, Councillor Vandenberg. So disadvantage would be having your sex-based rights denied to you. So sex-based rights are human rights, and human beings have the right to sex-based rights. So women have the right to all that entails. If you look back over the history of women's fight for, their sex-based rights in law, they included 4 toilets, single-sex facilities and toilets, where they could get changed and go to the toilet in the presence of only other females. So it's simply interpreting the law to maintain that.
Thank
The
you, Councillor Deeming.
data, I mean, if you want the data, you could, I just think it's common sense, but there's lots of data to back it up. If you need data, Councillor Vandenberg, next month I will provide you with the data. Other than that, it's common sense and it's just a matter of human rights. We don't need data to tell us that racism is wrong. We just know that it's wrong. And we don't need data to tell us that women are owed their sex-based human rights.
Thank you, Councillor Deeming. Councillor Vandenberg, follow-up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So in regards to data, Councillor Deeming, I was referring to data within the City of Melton as to how you have come to this conclusion. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor.
Again, Councillor Vandenberg, I don't need data from residents of Melton to know that racism is wrong, and I don't need data from anyone at all to know that sex-based rights are perfectly legitimate and that we have every right to ask for them.
Thank you, Councillor Deeming. Councillors, I'll just remind you that Councillor Deeming motion and Councillor Shannon seconded. Therefore, I'm going to put the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. I declare the motion carried. Thank you, Councillors. Councillor Deeming.
Can I please call a division?
Absolutely. Councillor Deeming has called for a division, therefore setting aside the original vote. I'll put the matter to the vote again. All those in favour of the motion, please raise your hand. Councillor Shannon, Councillor Kesich, sorry I can't see you, Councillor Ramsey. Councillor Ramsey, we're taking a vote. Division was called, and I'm calling all those in favour of the motion, please raise your hands. So I'll repeat: Councillor Shannon, Councillor Kesich, Councillor Deeming, Councillor Bushy, Councillor Carley, Councillor Turner, Councillor Madlick. All those who oppose the motion, please raise your hand. Councillor Vandenberg, and I'm taking that Councillor Ramsey abstaining.
Mr. Mayor, I have concerns, so I'd rather not vote at this point.
So you're abstaining. Thank you, Councillor Ramsey. So I declare division carried.